Okay, good. Thanks for coming again. And good to meet all the people that are new here. So we are running this event every last Friday of the month. We started 3 months ago. This is our third session with George. For the next sessions, next month we have Georgia, who is a documentary photographer. She's also here today as well. Thanks for coming. She works with Al Jazeera. She has very interesting personal projects, so that's going to be good. After that, we'll have a little break for Christmas. And then we have January. Probably we're going to have Four Corners Gallery. They're going to talk about exhibiting work and things like that. And then we're going to have Kevin, who does museum photography, and he has done 2 publications of photo books. So this is the schedule for the next 3 events. Feel free to join again if you enjoyed tonight. So the structure is we have a little chat with George, casual one, and then we have a bit of time for you to ask any questions you want. Shabu at the back may pass you a little mic when you ask questions, just so we have your voice as well. You are not in the video or anything, so don't worry, but just to have the questions recorded.
But some might be, like if anyone doesn't want to be in my video, I don't know, you can raise hands and maybe we can kind of like take you out. So
yeah, we can blur you.
We can blur you. Yeah. You can come tell me in the end, all right? And I'll try my best to not include you in our stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so George is a fashion photographer. For those of you who haven't seen his work, it's really interesting. I remember the last client I saw on your website and social media was Manchester United, right?
Yep.
That was fun. So we're going to talk a little bit about his practice, and also you have a presence on social media as a photographer, which I think is very useful to talk about because all of us have to do a little bit of this at the moment. So we have YouTube and we have short form, Instagram Reels. Do you do TikTok as well?
I just post the same stuff.
Okay, yeah, but...
But yeah, I'm on TikTok, sadly.
So let's... Already? I haven't even installed it yet.
Okay, let's talk about me, or anyway.
Both of you guys, if you feel free, we be both of you.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start a bit, talking a little bit about how you started photography, your background. You are from Athens, right? No, Thessaloniki in Greece. Sorry. So when did you start doing photography?
Okay, well, first of all, thank everyone for coming, and thank you, Maria, and the studio for having us. It's great to see you in person. Some haven't met before. So thank you so much for that. Hopefully this is going to be entertaining. And yeah, we can go into that. Like, where did I start, right?
Yeah.
How did I start? Okay. Well, my story wasn't very straightforward. So I was meant to become like a sports teacher essentially. Like I went to uni to study physical education, right? But there was a small injury that happened, small-ish. Then I stayed in bed for a little bit. When I discovered YouTube at the time, and by YouTube I mean YouTube 2010, that was a little bit of a different thing. And then I saw some content creators, like some directors and some people that were making videos, which I found so cool. And I was really like hooked. I started watching these people and getting interested in cameras and gear. And that kind of led to me paying more attention to that than to my actual uni. And eventually, a couple years later, kind of like naturally, I dropped out of uni and pursued photography and directing full time. Not YouTube though at the time. That came. Yeah. I was thinking about it for like 10 years before I did it.
Did you start with fashion photography straight away, or did you explore a little bit?
No. Yeah, I started we were talking to some people earlier. I started with like street photography,
okay,
which I loved. I don't know does anyone of you know Digital Rev TV? No one? No? Wow. Am I the only one that's old? Yeah, well, Digital Rev TV used to be like this channel that they used to do like street photography and kind of like presenting new cameras and gear and stuff like that. And I loved their style, and I started doing street photography in my hometown, which generated zero money. And therefore, I mean, I loved it, but I wanted to do it professionally, so I realized I have to switch it up a little bit. And then I started doing like events and weddings and other stuff. And eventually, at some point, I kind of like explored portrait photography and then fashion. And then I stuck to it. So yeah, fashion was a good 3 or 4 years after I started doing photography.
So let's say someone today wants to become a fashion photographer. They know photography, but they are not doing fashion photography. What would be like the steps you think they have to take to start working as a fashion photographer?
Okay, I mean, if you know how to take the photos, that's a good start, right? But then you essentially have to build a portfolio for it, right? I mean, if the question is how you're going to build a portfolio for fashion photography, it's simple. I mean, at the beginning, you're not going to have much leverage on your end. Like, not many people are going to want to work with you probably because you don't have the portfolio for it. So you can start small with like photographing some friends and, you know, the people that resonate with you the most and the work you want to produce. And then after you build a semi-solid portfolio, then you can start reaching out to agencies, model agencies. If you're based in London, that's not going to be a problem because there's so many of them. And yeah, and then build from there. You can meet like stylists and hairstylists and makeup and all these cool people that are going to collaborate with you on like test shoots and small little projects like that. And then, you know, eventually get better and better, have clients, and yeah.
So other than having a good portfolio, what other things you need to have? For example, you said have clients. Is there any ways that people, when they haven't started yet, so they don't have already a circle of people that hire them again and again, how do you start that?
Yeah, the start is always the tricky part, right? Like when you're set, everything is great. But to start building a clientele, I mean, there are a few ways, right? Like, first of all, like the most efficient one, I think, starting out would probably be if you reach out to brands that you're interested in working with, right? Maybe if you're like very new to the industry, you can do like a small little project that maybe is unpaid, maybe no. I mean, if you can manage them to pay like straight away, that's amazing. But if you've never done a paid shoot, you could suggest something very small for you that can help them as well. And then you build from there. Like outreach could be through social media, it could be through email.
That was my next question. Do you think is it better to contact via email or social media or maybe LinkedIn or the dots, or have you noticed any difference between this?
All these platforms are useful. I mean, the dots I don't really use personally. I have it, but not so much. LinkedIn is definitely good. But like if it's a small brand, if it's like a brand that has like a couple thousand followers on Instagram, I think Instagram is your best bet. But if it's a brand that like has tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, they're not likely to reply or if they reply, it's gonna be the intern, right? And you don't wanna speak to the intern probably.
Yeah.
So you probably have to find the right person for that company through LinkedIn potentially, or there are actually people that you can hire to get you the right leads from each companies.
Really?
Yeah,
Who are these people? Ah, okay.
You can find many people like as researchers on like Upwork or something like that.
Okay.
Also, Upwork is a great platform for people to find jobs in photography, even though it's not like the best necessarily. I don't know does anyone know Upwork?
Yeah.
Okay, a few people.
See,
Good. Upwork with Upwork. That's better for like remote stuff. Like I have a really good friend that has like a video editing agency and he's crushing it on Upwork. For photography, because it's kind of like location based and restricted, it's good, but it could be better, you know? Like I haven't had the most success on Upwork for photography. Not that I've tried much, but even, you know, it's easier doing other stuff, I feel. But if you're starting out, why not? But there you can also find people that can help you with various tasks like retouching, leads generation, like so many stuff. You don't have to do everything on your own. You can spend a little bit of money and have people help you. So, yeah.
Do you do any networking in person now, other than contacting people from far away?
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. Like, if there's a networking event from the Dots, for example, you know, it's always a great idea to go meet somewhere. Even here, you know, everyone here can meet each other and can say hi to each other. Maybe, you know, Tassos will met Cincy and they can, you know, exchange contacts, and then, you know, if someone cannot do a job, they can pass it on to the next person, and then that's networking. But like, there are other networking events that you can go and meet clients. But like, for example, some expos, I don't know if, like, there are some expos every now and then in London, like there were fashion brands. I mean, if we're talking about fashion photography, right? Fashion brands showcase their, you know, new collections. Have you been to any one of those? No one? Wow, well, there's a lot of work. Yeah, there are a lot of events like that, like every few months in like huge retail spaces. Not retail, but like huge, like kind of like, how do you call it? Like warehouses type of thing. And people showcase their new collections there. If you go there, obviously, people don't love getting sold when you go to these type of events because they're there to sell their stuff. But you can go, say hi and leave your card and, you know, get to know some people. That's great. But
yeah, I've tried this before as well.
It might not be like super efficient all the time, but you get to meet someone in person, and that's always way different than just an email that, you know, might never convert to a call. But I think the closer you get to an in real life interaction, the better chances you have on converting to something, right? If you just on email with someone, it's less likely they're gonna hire you. If you jump on a video call with them, more likely. And if you meet them, the best case scenario, right? So yeah, that's.
How important do you think is your following on social media at the moment and your exposure in general, especially for fashion photography? Do you feel that there is clients that check that as well, how many followers you have before they hire you, or is it like a secondary thing?
I mean, if they hire you because you have followers, that's not a good start, for sure. But yeah, and I don't even have that many. But yeah, I guess when you get to the tens or the 15s of thousands, definitely it plays a big role, and people are more keen in working with you. But it's kind of like, you know, I don't want clients to hire me for social media presence. Like following, actually. Presence when it comes to like, oh, because they like my vibe, for example, because I posted a cool reel and I show how, you know, cool we are when we work on set, that's good.
So it's additional advertising for them.
It's kind of like making your brand, creating your brand, making it bigger, right? By the way, can everyone hear at the back as well? Because we don't have mics and stuff. Okay, cool. Wow, all the way at the back. Nice. Yeah, it's good to have a social media presence. It's important, but you don't want people to hire you just for your numbers. You want them to hire you for your skill. But if they do, yeah, why not? But like to have a social media presence and put out like behind the scenes of your photo shoots and like the good vibes and reels and all that stuff is very important, because the client or the potential client or even other collaborators feel like they know you even without meeting you, right? So that's like always going to be a plus.
Yeah. Do you mind if let's go and see some projects you've done for people that have never seen your work, and I would be very interested to hear for some of these, maybe for this last one or for whichever one you prefer, take us through the workflow. How did you get this job, and then how did you plan it, and what were your responsibilities as well? Like, was it just the photographer? Did you do more things for them?
For sure.
I think I saw another interesting project you've done with people you know from Greece. Was that right?
Is that this one?
So some brand hired you.
I'll explain. Let's take it one by one, right? First of all, I'm showing the website to everyone because I want to showcase that your website should be the face of your photography and not your Instagram, ideally, because here you can show your photos however you want to show them, right? On Instagram it's still cool and stuff, like, but like it's more like, you know, I cannot have the same structure and everything is not exactly how I want it to be. But yeah, you have likes here, so yeah. Anyway, so like this project, for example, that you mentioned, is for a brand that commissioned me to go to Greece, where I'm from, Thessaloniki, not Athens.
Sorry. There is a bit of a beef
There's no
between the.
Nah. I just want to promote my local, like tourism. Go to Thessaloniki, guys. It's lovely.
Cheaper.
Cheaper as well. Oh yeah, I love it a lot cheaper. Halkidiki. We went to Halkidiki and it was like, the project is called Postcards from Thessaloniki. So essentially I photographed some of my friends and my dad's friends, as you can see here. That's another one. And and then that was like real people interactions. We went to the beach and just had fun. And that's it. Yeah. That was
So the
project.
brand contacted you and said, I want you to take these garments
Yeah.
and go back to Greece and photograph your family and friends.
Yep.
It's a very interesting brief, isn't it?
It's
I've
cool,
never heard of this before.
Yeah, I also took one of my dad. This one. This is my dad.
Is this something? Is this something that happens often, or was it like a very unique project?
I wouldn't say that's a typical project. Like usually we being in the fashion industry, it's more like models and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's one that I will always remember because I photographed some people close to me.
Is this something you suggested or something they suggested?
No, they had a series already. They have a series. So yeah, we kind of like followed, like I'm the third one coming here. It's the same. I was the third one to photograph in that series.
Oh, good. You're lucky enough.
Yeah.
And did you do everything, like styling?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean, there's not much styling, but the styling that you can see here, I guess, that was me. I don't claim to be a stylist, Melina, just letting you know that. But yeah, I can have an influence on styling. I think what I do the most these days is creative direction, which essentially kind of like directs the styling and everything a little bit. So I have a say in that whenever I can. So yeah, that's one that I really like. You want to speak about another one, a specific one?
The Manchester United
The
one,
United
maybe.
one? I mean, this one is probably my favorite. Well, with that one, I had a lot of control when it comes to creative direction and styling. We had a stylist here. I'm not claiming styling for this one. And we had a big team. Like, you can see we had like a lot of models. Can we play this like a video as well? I mean, maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that. I would recommend because it's like a 45-second long one. You see it watched at home. But for this one, I used like music that resonated close to me with. It was like Greek classical music. And yeah, it blended really well with the project, even though it sounds peculiar, but it wasn't that much.
Can we watch like 10 seconds?
Okay, let's watch a little bit.
I don't know what
Is
kind
the
of
sound gonna be
speakers.
there
I'm
or
not
here?
sure. Let's try.
We'll figure it out. I think it's gonna be here, so I'm gonna turn that this way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's also a little bit unsynced there.
Yeah.
Because it's but yeah, you can watch it at home. I love this video. And yeah, we did a lot of things here. It was a lot more complicated than the other one. It had like a casting of 7 or 8. And yeah, it was one that I really loved because I'm a United fan as well, for those that don't know, from Thessaloniki. Any City fans here? No? Oh, there you go. You see?
Also, Athens is a good one.
Say what?
Also, Athens is a good city, though.
Athens? No, yeah. For sure. You're from Athens, right? Yeah, sorry.
I told you.
Yeah, good.
I started this. I take full responsibility.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Was this? Did they contact you?
Yeah.
Did you contact
Well,
them?
actually, that is an interesting one, right? Because that kind of happened because of social media, right? So I posted this photo here, this exact one, which I was even like, if you read the description, I shot this in 2022, December 2022, and I posted it May this year. So I've taken this photo as a part of a personal project, like a test shoot, and I was like, nah, you know, whatever. I didn't think much of it. But then one day I was chilling, a couple days after I posted it, and then I saw this one, which was Man United posting my photo essentially. And yeah, I almost fell off my chair for this one actually. when I saw it, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I mean, it's a carousel with Zayn second, anyway, and then some other fans. But yeah, our photo was the first one, and I was like shocked. And that kind of like started it all. I mean, then, you know, like we connected with the people from United, and then a couple of weeks after that, or months, they reached out for us to do this project, which I hope is one of many. And yeah, I was really excited. I remember where I was for that email as well. It was big for me. But yeah, that one. So essentially, if sometimes you think, oh, that's not so good, I shouldn't post it, you should probably post it, you know? No matter what's the worst thing can happen? I mean, you might lose a follower even.
It's really good though. It's a good picture.
I even put it second. It wasn't even my first photo.
I would put it first.
And yeah, like, that was nice. So yeah, I was between this one and a totally random one, because what I do is like I do 3 lines, you know? As you can see here, I'm missing one. I'll complete it next week when I'll post a 3rd photo of this project. And yeah, I had like this line of like these 2 photos, and then I was missing a 3rd one here. So I was like, should I post this or should I post something else? And then yeah, that was great. Like that.
And for this project, did you do the art direction as well?
Yeah.
So they basically trusted you to...
Yeah. I mean, that's not something that happens all the time. It can definitely be way different. I mean, this is one of their many campaigns, right? Like they do like, I think they do 2 photo shoots a week, which actually I think I should be more, right? Because
hopefully.
Come on guys, 2 photo shoots a week. Anyway, so obviously for this one they gave me more control, but I'm sure for other projects that involve players and stuff, they might not give as much control. But that's the thing, like if you start working with smaller clients, you can have more input and have more control. And then sometimes with a bigger client, you can get lucky and have more creative direction. I mean, essentially, I want to have creative. It's more work for me. It's a lot more work than just showing up, but I want to have that.
Do you charge more for that, or do you prefer doing it anyway?
Well, I definitely prefer doing it anyway, but I do charge more for that as well. So it goes both ways, because you do more work. You do the mood board, you have to speak with everyone involved. You know, it's not just a matter of like going there, photographing, the brief is ready. No, it's like probably triple the work or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I really like, by the way, how you treat multiple models in the same frame. I saw some of your older work as well with 2 models.
Yeah.
I think I used one of the pictures for the
one, right?
advertising the event.
Brilliant.
To be fair, this is kind of my favorite thing in fashion photography anyway. I really like more than 1 models together. And the boys as well, all of this. And I like how you do it with someone in the foreground and someone in the background, or someone like in bigger scale and smaller scale.
Yeah. It's definitely kind of like part of my signature style, I would say. And it's also definitely a lot more difficult to handle more than 1 models. Has anyone like photographed like 2 or 3 models at the same time, like that? You at the back? No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, come on guys, don't be shy. We're gonna have a Q&A after. Someone has to speak, okay? Okay, good.
Yes, but it's a secret.
It's a secret. Well, the Q&A. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult. And then when you get to 7, like it's crazy. No. The most difficult thing here, you might think, I don't know what people might think, but like the most difficult thing here is to keep the models entertained and to keep them interested. That's literally the most difficult thing, because they're gonna get bored, they're gonna start chatting to each other, they're gonna like not care, and you have to keep them entertained, and you have to like make them interested in the project. That's the most difficult thing. And obviously direct them as you're photographing, but if they're not interested, if they're just chilling for 30 minutes, you've lost their attention. So, yeah.
So after all this,
Okay.
how did you get to do it? The first thing I saw from you was the short form videos on Instagram, and then I saw your YouTube channel as well, which is more like a vlog of your life a little bit, right? Is that right?
Yeah, well...
So how did you get to the point?
Are you talking about these?
Yes, these are the ones I saw first.
I'm sorry to everyone who hasn't seen these.
Why are you sorry?
I mean, no, I'm joking. I mean, they're the first... I mean, that was kind of like the first thing I did when I put myself in front of the camera, so naturally I'm going to be a little bit more stiff. Not that I claim to be a lot less stiff now.
I thought they were pretty good.
Just putting it out there. But yeah, that was the first thing I did. I mean, this kind of like style can really work on social media, like people talking and saying their stories or sharing any type of value they might have to give or to provide. What was the question though again?
I really like those, by the way. I think
you.
you're a bit harsh on yourself.
No, I mean...
So how did you decide to start doing this?
I mean, I felt like, okay, it's simple. I'll be very honest, right? Maybe too honest for my own good, but yeah, I felt that I was better than the jobs I was getting, right? So like, I felt that I should be doing better jobs. So one of the ways to do it, I was like, okay, I should build my personal brand and get myself out there and have people know my name and my face and, you know. So I was like, okay, I'll tell some of my own stories on Instagram, and yeah, that was the first kind of like try of doing that. I was sharing essentially stories of, you know, I'm speaking about a lot of things that we're talking about today, right? And yeah, that worked a little bit. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of like connected with me through that, and yeah, but I was a little bit bored, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think you
bored of the content, or
bored of like, yeah, I wanted to do something a bit more creative for my liking. I'm sure that can work, and that will work for people and for me. If I were to do this more, I'm sure it would work. Actually, I have like 10 or 15 videos that I've done and I haven't posted.
So this was...
Should I post them or?
No.
I think you should.
No, okay.
So this was content to support photographers and creatives, basically.
Yeah, sort
so
of that. But
how you do things as a photographer.
Yeah, and speak about my journey and some stuff.
How to work with magazines. How to work with magazines.
Okay, let me hear.
Let's watch the video. Old George. Let's watch Old George.
Yeah, it's a year-old George.
What do you think today?
I mean, essentially, what I think I say here is to, you know, you have to kind of like pitch an idea to them, right? And like you have to have a style that you think that magazine aligns with, and then pitch a specific idea to them and kind of like get them through all the steps that you need to kind of like go through to be able to achieve that idea. So if you have work, let's say if you do only portrait photography, you're not gonna go to a fashion magazine and say, hey, because like that doesn't work. But like if you have portrait photography and then there's a beauty magazine, that can kind of work, you know. So that's one thing, and then, you know, pitch directly, again, find the right person, email them, follow up a third time maybe. And yeah, that's how you do it, more or less.
Would you ever try, especially at the beginning, to submit work? Work that you've already made.
You're right. Yeah, maybe I skipped that part. So yeah, another way is to just create the work and send it to them, right? Submitting. So two things, right? Submitting and commissioning. So submitting means that you photographed everything, you have the line of work, maybe it's 7 pictures, and you send it to a magazine and you say, hey, I made this. You want to post it on your stuff, or you know, they can either pay for it or not pay for it. Unlikely they'll pay for it, but yeah. And that's the first step actually. And then if you have a few of those, then you can go into commissions, which I kind of like mentioned, and they support you from the beginning, and you have like a deal that you'll make this work, and they'll post it and they'll share it. But yeah.
And do you find that this kind of exposure, posting on, publishing on magazines, is really important for your photography brand, or is it less essential at the moment?
I've heard of a lot of things. Like once there was a client that said, you know what, I like your work, but you haven't worked with like cool magazines. And I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But that exists, and that happened in London a few years back. So I guess it's important to some people, but like to some other people, maybe it's not as important. It depends. Like some people value different things. If some people might value if you shot celebrities, some people might value if you shot cool brands or cool magazines. Like don't think that you'll like, you know, if you photograph for, let's say, a cool magazine, let's say someone gives me a cool magazine, L'Officiel, right? L'Officiel is a kind of cool magazine. If you photograph for them, they'll post your work and everything. I mean, you might get like 5, 10 followers, 20, something like that. It's not like it's gonna change your life. So on that sense, no. But if you're gonna create something for you and for your portfolio, if it's like branded with L'Officiel or with a small other magazine or whatever, is better than if it's not, right?
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Don't go overkill on chasing the magazine because it's the thing I have to do. So yeah.
So after this, so this was the first thing you did
for social media, yeah.
Yeah, and after this you made the YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And the content there is different.
Yeah, it's a bit different. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not claiming to everyone that attended and thought I was the expert. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the...
I'm not claiming to be like the expert of YouTube or social media, but what I have here in my notes here, right, guys, is experiment, right? So if you're starting out with your content meaning you in front of the lens and talking to a camera about what you do or sharing like your behind the scenes story, you have to experiment. So me, I started doing this, and then I started like this project that we saw earlier, and then I started doing stuff like this, for example, which was kind of like behind the scenes and this and that. And then I was like, look, I want to do some more YouTube. And so I went into more like full stories. And here I kind of like moved in between some like you could say traditional YouTube stuff, like videos about lifestyle and stuff like that. But I also really paid attention to putting stuff out there that is about my work, like behind the scenes from my photo shoots, like this one, and I'll mute that. And like, you know, behind the scenes of this like project that we did for United and all that stuff. So I feel like these videos are really essential to any photographer. Even if you don't want to do any YouTube, like traditional YouTube, like, oh, look at this cool whatever, like camera or this or that. Having videos like this one that I have there right now is essential because like clients can, yeah, it's lagging a little bit there, but still, clients can see how you work and like what you're about and how you dictate your team and how you can help, you know, like a problem, like solve a problem on set and these type of things, like, you know. So yeah, I think it's a cool video to have for anyone that's doing any type of photography. If they have long form videos like that, I think it's great, even if they don't have other stuff on their YouTube. So that I'm sure of, even though I'm kind of like still experimenting with some content.
So would you always have someone with you shooting the backstage of your, like a videographer shooting the backstage?
Well, Tasso's here. Say hi to Tasso.
That's his friend, I'm not a videographer.
He's a friend, but he's also a creative himself. He started recently his journey, and he's helped me in a few of these videos. But some of them, as you can see, like this one, for example, is this camera that I have that is very, very small, and it can clip it in your head or like your chest. I would have brought it here, but I thought it was going to be a little bit
Like
weird.
a GoPro.
Like a what? Sorry?
Like a GoPro? Like
Yeah, like a GoPro, but even smaller. It's like the size of my thumb.
Oh.
So you can stick it in places. It's magnetic, and you can, you know, have it and use it as a POV type of shot, and it's really, really cool and helpful. So yeah, but like having a friend helping you or a videographer is really helpful.
It's much
But I
easier.
did a lot of like filming myself at times, but you cannot film everything yourself. There's a lot of things. By the way, this is the one we did here as well.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot to think about when you're on set. So if you can have a friend to help, always do that. And yeah, thank you, Tasso.
He's the
Views
one.
after show.
Yeah.
He's the one that's calling you a boomer, right?
Yeah, well, he's a hater and a lover at the same time. It's interesting. But yeah, I think that's really essential for anyone. So yeah, behind the scenes video, but like behind the scenes with like you guys can see that we're talking about stuff, right? I'm not gonna have the volume up because I'm gonna cringe. But yeah, like it shows some more context than just like a few quick shots that's more stale and boring. Like if you kind of like tell the story and like we're gonna do that, how we achieve that is like, you know, like that's important. Tassos here is flexing because he fixed the light. But yeah, that's really important for anyone, I feel.
So is this the kind of content you are focusing on at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm Greek, so I can also speak Greek as well. And what I realized is that people find you a lot more entertaining in your native language, which is odd or not. But I think it's more of a relatable thing, right? Like if you're British, you're more likely to relate with someone that has, you know, a similar background to you, maybe a similar voice to you, a similar accent. And like, yeah, like I feel like having done a little bit of like, how can I say it? Like entertainment on YouTube, on my English speaking YouTube, I think I'm focusing more on behind the scenes and work related stuff. So this video, thank you for being in it, is gonna be in my English channel as well. But like I did a Greek channel recently, which I feel and I see it's a lot more, like the entertainment stuff are a lot more impactful there. And
You mean social life?
no, I mean like, okay, I only did 2 videos here, right?
When you say entertainment,
Yeah, so I only did 2 videos here, like a football vlog. I went to England, Greece, Greece.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, at Wembley, and it got like 22,000 views, and that was my first video. And yeah, like that never happened with this channel. So yeah, I kind of like separated the thing in like entertainment for my Greek channel, I guess, and then work for my English channel. So that's what I'm looking to do, like having more work stuff on my English channel and more entertainment stuff on my Greek one.
What are the channels called?
Well,
So how do we find
It's
you?
my name, but this one is in Greek, which my original Greek name is Giorgos, which translates to George.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty simple. George Aslanidis or George Aslanidis if you're Greek. So yeah,
Nice.
that's about it.
Any questions, anyone else?
Okay, we talked.
I'm running out.
You wanna wait? Give the microphone.
Oh yeah, sorry, Julius.
Fine. Thanks for that. It's really interesting.
Thank you.
Just the tips, I suppose, when you're pitching to smaller brands. Do you think sometimes it's good or not good to go with a preconceived mood board idea?
It's definitely good. I feel like if you go, like even with bigger brands,
Yeah.
like going with the mood board idea is, I was actually, just before that, I had a meeting with a client. He told me that, you know, he's worked with people that just came there with a brand, with a plan, with a mood board and a plan. And they said, this is it. You want me to execute that for you? He said, okay, how much is it? This much, done. You know, it's so much easier because if you go to a brand and you're like, hey, I can shoot your next collection. Sure. But yeah, we'll keep you in mind, whatever. But if
You
you,
have a preconceived idea.
yeah, if you go there with like, I'll execute this, it's gonna cost this much. I mean, don't say the cost at first email maybe,
Yeah.
but you can have that cost in mind. You can jump on a call. Jumping on a call is essential actually. If you say everything via email, it's less likely it's gonna convert. But it's really, yeah, it's a really good idea. And I haven't done it enough actually. I'm doing it more now. So if you're doing it already, you're winning.
Okay.
Good.
Another question, actually.
Yeah. Just make sure you get the mic.
I was really interested in the shoot you did with the Manchester United on the
Yeah.
effectively, I know it's not a suburban street, but a residential street.
Yeah.
And I love that sort of style. Do you have to get permission?
Well, that's a big one, right? We're in England,
Yeah.
and in England you are supposed to get permission for everything.
Okay.
So what I do is not take permission for anything.
The Greek style. The Greek style.
Like, look, I mean, I'm not gonna, publicly, officially, I cannot really say.
Let's cut this
Don't go, don't go take permissions for stuff. You should take permissions for stuff, but if the budget doesn't allow it, or if, the brand is not big enough, or you don't have or if you're shooting in 7 locations,
Yeah.
just wing it,
Yeah.
between me and you. Like, that's.
I would just for like specific locations, I would explain to the client that there is a small risk there, especially if the client is
Of a
big.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it is very big, it goes on a billboard and it's a private space, they can
Yeah.
ask for money afterwards.
No. If it's the license is heavy, like
Yeah.
billboards, you should get permission.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing billboards, you should be getting big money.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a thing we could talk about, licensing. Because I was lost with licensing until recently.
Where do you stand with that? Do you charge for usage or do you not?
Look-
It's like we are divided at the moment.
I'm not divided at all. I'm very clear. If the client is small as hell, if the client doesn't have, can barely reach the 1,000 mark budget or something like that, there's nothing to charge for licensing, right? It's just, it is what it is. They're not going to use that for a billboard. They have barely £1,000 or something like that. They cannot afford a billboard. But if you're shooting for, let's say, Manchester United, Adidas, Nike, you definitely have to charge licenses. Like, if your photo ends up on, Piccadilly Circus, you should be paid for it. Like, even if it took you an hour to do it, it is what it is,
Yeah.
And I've rejected. That sounds like a little bit of a flex, but I've rejected a job around £5,000 because the licensing was crazy big for them, and I felt like I should be getting paid more, and I regret it. Don't get me wrong, but like they cannot have licensing forever, playing it all over the world, New York, LA, on the underground, and pay you £5,000.
Yeah.
Like, £5,000 is a lot of money, but they paid these ads hundreds of thousands of pounds. Like, you deserve a little bit more than than this. So I'm very, and it was a big brand. So
I heard someone saying recently that you can introduce this to your clients by saying that also that protects them. So for clients that don't want to sign a license, that protects them, because at any time, if you don't sign a contract about this, you can say, this is my picture, you are not allowed to use it anymore. But I don't know where you stand with people, because today we have different needs as well. There is people that post something on Instagram, and then a year later, when the usage is over, some photographers will contact them and ask them to delete.
No, you're not deleting.
Old
deleting
posts
the
or-
photos from Instagram. You're just not using it for ads anymore. So you're not gonna be using the old photos for ads, but you can still have them online on Instagram. But I don't know. Maybe people. I don't know. Do you guys care about licensing at all, or is this us that we're like, yay, licensing?
It is important.
Is it? Okay, cool.
You
So
want
people
more
are.
money.
Yeah, and you, if you're doing modeling as well, you know that that's like a big part of it. So yeah. Cool.
I have another question that came up from what you were talking about.
Maybe someone
sorry.
else before you?
Sorry.
I don't know. Is there anyone else that wants to jump in with a question?
A question.
Cool. Sorry to put
No,
you in
no,
second.
no, don't worry. I won't forget everything. I wrote
I
it
have
down.
2 questions.
Go for it, yeah.
So, is there a person that you should go for when speaking to clients or approaching clients? Is there a certain person that you should be directing your emails to?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, definitely. Like you shouldn't, like if it's a very, very small brand, again, 1,000 in followers brand, let's call it by followers, because usually, that's a good metric-ish. But if someone is like 1,000 followers, you can go for the founder, right? There's only probably like a couple people in the brand. If it's a bigger brand, then you should probably go for the creative director, the head of content, or art director, someone along those lines, right? Head of photography, someone like that. So yeah, that's very important. If you contact like marketing, yeah, actually. If you contact like product or something like that, that's not, they don't care, you know.
Second question, going from what you were saying earlier, when you're like discussing your brief, pre-shoot, everything like that, do you discuss your image count as well? Like, is it like an agreed image count?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So you discuss a little bit, but what I found to be very beneficial is obviously you aim, let's say, for 15 photos, right? Cool. You can include them in your package as a retouched 15 photos. And then you could say, oh, and if you want more on top of that, you can have more by charging, you know, X amount of money per retouched photo. Or you can, you know, don't give them any retouches for included in the package and just add the retouching it on top of it completely. So like you can say, like random numbers here, but let's say £1,000 to shoot, and then £20 per retouched photo. You can get as many as you want. And they usually, if you do a good job, they're gonna want a lot. They might be like, it's a little bit much for the retouching, but you know, you're getting more. It's, you know, they see the value there. I'm getting more photos, I'm paying more money. So yeah, you should always kind of like structure it like that. I found that to be the most beneficial for me. And you can make more money. So,
That's what we want. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Anyone else?
On the pricing,
Julius.
sorry.
Hi. I was
You-
just wondering,
Oh,
You'll go next.
sorry.
I was wondering about agents. Have you ever had interest or worked with agents, or would you like to have one?
Agencies, right? Okay, I'm signed with an agency actually, non-exclusively with them. So that means that I get to shoot for my own clients, and they don't have a say in that. But then when they come to me with their work, with their clients, then we work, you know, as you would with an agency. So I do work with an agency. I'm happy. I'm fairly happy with them. But you know, there's benefit to working with an agency when their structure is clear, and if there are like any, like, how do you say it? I don't know the word, but like if there's like hidden spots or terms that you're not sure of, you need to make everything crystal clear. Because I've heard from a lot of people in the industry, friends and friends of friends, that have signed with agencies, signed exclusively with them, which means that every job you do, even if it's your own client, even if you worked with them before that, you give them a percentage. And for example, people have signed for a year, they never got a job from their agency, they're paying them 10 or 20 or 25% for every job they make already, and then it's a one-way street. And then you cannot do anything because you signed a contract, I guess. I mean, you can, but they're not gonna sue you really. But anyway, and yeah, it's not beneficial. So what I would recommend to all new creatives that want to sign with agencies is, first of all, don't rush it. Wait a little bit, because agencies want people to be established to a degree that, you know, they want you to bring them some clients as well. But maybe have a trial period. You know, you could say to an agency, let's work for 3 or 4 months, see how things go, and if you bring me a lot of work, we can sign, because they're gonna want an exclusive contract more likely. Maybe you can sign that after a trial period. But if you haven't seen anything from them, why would you sign to a year-long contract or 2 years and, you know, potentially, you know, only go downhill from there? So that's my opinion. Are you signed?
No, but I'm interested. So I'm like,
You're being casted?
no, I'm interested. So I'm
Oh, interested,
asking
okay.
every photographer their experience.
Okay. Well, good luck. Yeah, you'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, thanks. Yeah, just on the pricing, do you, when you say that figure, let's just say it's that £1,000,
Yeah.
do you include your expense? So do you separate out the expenses, whether that's as simple as travel or image transfer and all of this sort of
Image
thing?
transfer when...
Just like delivering the files to them on...
that's not really an expense. So.
No.
Unless you physically send them the images. What I would do is some expenses, like for example, sometimes I travel with my kid
Yeah.
and I charge the taxi to the client, so I would add that on top of it. And then stuff like, you know, let's say I mean, it's all about how you want to structure it. Really, you can structure everything, and you can like kind of like do the math and like see that, you know, I want 1,000 for myself, and then the tax is gonna be another 80,
Yeah.
and then the food is gonna be another, because maybe the client is not coming to the shoot, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the food is gonna be another 80, and then, you know, whatever. And you can like make a bulk thing and like say, okay, it's 2,000 for everything.
Yeah.
That could be a thing, but yeah, so it depends on the client. Some clients I charge like on top of the rate, like the taxi and some stuff like that, or rental kit.
Mhm.
But some others I just put a higher price
Yeah.
and include everything there. But retouching, I always prefer that it's on top, unless again, if they're a really premium client and everything, they want to have like one number, and then you do everything for them, and then you have an agreement. That's very important as well. You have an agreement, and it says 20 photos, let's say 20 edited photos. If they want more, you'll have something on top of it that will say, okay, 20, 30, 40 pounds on top per photo, and you can send them a second invoice, and that's fine. But everything has to be agreed, signed. Yeah. Also, always get some money up front when you book a date. That's really important. Like, because people cancel, and if they don't have something in there, you know, they might cancel or might change things, and they don't care about your time. But if you to lock it in the date for them, you took 30 or 40% up front, then they see you in a different light.
Which is non-refundable, right?
Non-refundable, yeah. That should be in the agreement, and that should be very clear to the client. Cool. Anyone else?
Sorry. How did you find your niche?
Okay.
Did you like, because did you rely on makeup artists, stylists, and any of that? Because, you know, like to create image, you need to have all these great things. Did you just kept shooting and just kind of like, oh, okay, this works for me and this is cool? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I have some notes for this as well. So thank you for helping me bring my notes to life. So my niche, it took me a while to find, right? So like, I was shooting fashion in general for like 7 years or something like that, right? So it was like, oh, fashion, right? It was usually women's wear and some other stuff, but like after some time, I was like, okay, I really like football, and I like, you know, kind of like this streetwear football vintage vibe that we see here, and I was like, you know, that could be like kind of my thing, you know, and I kind of like shifted to that, and ever since that's my main focus. So to find your niche, I guess I also have a video thing for that, but yeah, don't watch it. I would say find what you love, and then kind of try to bring it together, right? If you like jewelry, like wearing jewelry, maybe that's your niche, you know, explore it. If you like, you know, wellness or like face creams or stuff like that, maybe that's your niche, and you should explore that. If you like football, maybe that's your niche. There's so many things that you could kind of like help bring in your photography that only you can do them as well, that, you know, it's gonna benefit you to so many ways. Maybe a way to do it is write your 10 favorite things down, like a list, 10 things. Have them there, print them, put them next to your bed, you know, and look at them every day. Try and photograph around them, and then maybe in 6 months, if you photograph a little bit of everything, you'll see what your niche is, you know. But yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Good. Great. Anyone else? Or should we give Maria...
No, go, don't stop them now.
Tasso, you said you have 4 questions. You're happy.
I need to go to the toilet on camera.
Okay.
I have to be sorry.
Cool.
Carmel, I think.
It's kind of a boring question.
That's okay.
There's no boring question.
Do you find that sort of that you've had a lot of clients that ask for, what are you filming, sort of full frame, medium format? Do you have, when you go for a job, do they have a kind of, depending on what sort of...
No.
Basically what camera you
I know
use.
what you mean.
Is
No.
it like all digital that you do?
No, that okay. Let me sorry for that as well.
That's okay.
For the vlog, that never happens. No one like the only people that care about the formats and stuff is us. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, I've never been asked if I have a degree. No one asked if I have a degree here.
No.
Do you know if I have one? No. Well,
No. Yeah.
you don't care because my work is nice, maybe.
Yeah.
But like the formats and everything is like, you know, quite geeky, photography, whatever, and it's less likely that anyone's ever gonna ask. As long as you can like, if you shoot, let's say, with a camcorder and with a 4K digital mirrorless camera, and you do both, if you show them to your client and be like, hey, we could do this or this, they don't care. If maybe they prefer one for the, sorry, for the aesthetic, but
you
like,
don't have that much. You just can, because
no one cares.
You always read about sort of like, oh, you know, the medium format and 6x6 and this and that, and you know what I mean. And I just have a digital camera. So.
No one cares. No, zero people care. I don't know. Has anyone had a different experience? Like literally, that never happens. That's never gonna happen probably.
And you're doing fashion, so that would I would imagine if there was any way that would happen, it might be there.
I guess, but yeah, I guess you know you have to have the right gear, right? Like if you like are doing architecture and you have telephoto lenses only and you don't have wide angle lenses, I mean, yeah. So some jobs might have like, okay, if we're gonna hire you for that, you need to have a 12 to 24 lens, you know, whatever, and full frame. Maybe like once in a blue moon, but like a typical fashion job is never gonna be like. They'll show you references. So for example, I've been in a shoot that they showed me references from like a fisheye lens, and they don't know what it. I mean, they kind of know what it is,
but I know
like,
what you mean.
They don't care.
They just like a look.
They're like, we want this. Can you do this? I was like, hell yeah.
Okay.
We did it, yeah.
Or maybe if they hired you for like a big print, they may then request.
Yeah, a big print could potentially. Yeah, if you're doing I mean, I haven't done billboards really. So if you do a billboard, maybe they'll ask you for a 50 megapixel camera, but you can rent that. Faster, you can have that. Thank you.
Because you know, you watch, like I watch a lot of YouTube to learn, and the rest.
Who
of
do you watch? That's the thing.
That
Give me one or two names.
I watch like you know, I kind of don't know their names. I know their faces.
Okay,
This guy
cool.
Rory, whatever his name is, he does a lot of portrait photography. He does it with like a film Mamiya camera.
Okay.
A few of them are a little bit, you know, kind of. That kind of thing, but I have my digital Canon, and that's what I use.
Good. You're good with that. Is it full frame?
It's just a full frame. I just bought it. It's an R5.
R5 is better than this.
Yeah, I upgraded from like I think I had the Mark II, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's a good upgrade.
For ages and ages, and it died. So I had
That's
to get
good.
another one.
No, you should be good for 10 years.
Yeah.
100%. No.
There was a new
joking.
trend
You should be
using.
good for 10 years now. No one should ever think that they need to spend 5K every couple of years. 5K on the R5 will get you through 10 years.
Yeah.
Easy. So don't spend money on equipment. That's why I'm never gonna get a Canon endorsement. You see? They don't. I say this stuff and yeah.
Has to wait a long time.
Maybe Tassos can cut this out as well.
Actually, I've done a video about that as well. Like, don't buy a new camera. Only buy it if you cannot do. I bought this camera after 7 years or 8 years of having my previous camera, and I mostly bought it for the tilt screen, the 4K video, and then the autofocus on video. Like, because I wanted to do these type of videos, because I was good with my 5D Mark III. It's still good. Go for it. Yeah.
What's your preferred focal length?
Well, that's an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really like this lens that we're using here, which is a 14 to 35. I really like wide angle lenses. Like, these were shot on wide angle lenses. This was shot on a different camera, but these were shot on wide angle, wide angle, wide angle. These are film, by the way. I shoot a lot of film, so let's get that straight as well. But yeah, I really like wide angle, but you can be different and have a different style, or maybe you like wide angle as well. Also, zoom lenses are great. Like, don't let anyone fool you and tell you that you need 7 primes to work. as a photographer. Because I used to do that, and I realized that's a lot of, great marketing from great brands. Because you don't really need like the aperture these days. Like unless you're doing sports or something like that, or events, you're less. If you're doing fashion, you probably don't need f1.4 very often. So yeah, or commercial in general. So yeah. I want a question from you. You have a question? Yeah, I see you have a question. No, I don't want to put you on the
I
spot.
literally just thought of one.
Yeah, go for it.
Just a second.
You see, if no one asks questions, I'll put you on the spot like that.
No, just because you said that you shot that on film. I was wondering what film camera you use and what stuff.
Okay, I think we talked about this, didn't we? Like the two of us. No, maybe I talked about it with someone else. But I have 2 film cameras. Not that you need to, but I do have 2. One is the Contax G2, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend because it's quite overpriced, but it is what it is. And then I also have the Canon 1V, which is the best one that I've ever shot on, and way more practical than the Mamillas, just saying. The Mamillas are barely, like I cannot even lift them, and I'm an 85 kg
And
man.
I think to fix them and stuff, to get the
Yeah,
pieces
like-
back out, it's like...
We have some Amiga fans around,
They're great cameras, but like they're studio cameras, I think. If you're gonna do shoots like this one, you're gonna be out and about for like 6 hours or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to carry Mamiya, and if I don't have bodybuilders as assistants, this is tough, So I shoot with the Canon 1V, and that helps me bring my lenses from my Mark III that I had. And yeah, I use a lot of Portra 400 or 160. I've tried Ektar 100 as well. So yeah, color grade, but you also need a little bit of color grading and a little bit of retouching, and yeah, which you can hire other people to do for you. You don't have to do it on your own. So yeah. Thank you for asking questions. Anyone else? Cool.
Good.
Maria, you want to ask
I
the
think we
last
moved
question?
past the... No, okay, I'll ask you.
Okay. Cool.
So you said before that it's better to have a call or a meeting with a client that is new.
A what? Sorry.
A call or a meeting
yeah.
instead of an email. How do you approach the first meeting or call? What are the things you talk about? What is your priorities? Maybe it's not to discuss about pricing or about number of pictures. What do you want to do during that call? Because it's not going to be very long either.
No, not necessarily. It could be an hour long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not? Why not? First of all, I think what I've done recently actually is I've have like a note on my computer that I use. Like I put some things in there that I should remember in every call, right? Because when I used to go in a call like randomly without my notes, like here I brought some notes. I didn't use them that much, but like on calls, I used my notes a lot. So when you go in there with nothing in your head and nothing on your notes, is more likely that you're gonna screw up, let's say. But if you go a little bit prepared with some notes, some key questions that you want to ask, it's so much better. And you can be brave and ask questions about money. If you're talking about a specific project, so for example, if you're pitching your project, you don't want to have an hour-long call, talk about everything and not talk about the money. Because that's, why are you not being brave? Talk about the money. Tell them this project is going to cost 3,000, 2,000, 7,000, whatever, whatever it is. Because any objections that the client might have is best if they like push you on the spot. Because if you just talk about the aesthetic and whatever, let's say but we're talking about a specific project now, right? You talk about, oh, I love this project, yeah, amazing. Okay, I'll send you the prices after. No, you're cooked. You're gone, yeah. Because let's say you had 4,000 in mind for the whole project, right?
Yeah.
Like as a total budget, and then this client had 1,500. He sees your 4,000 on an email. He's like, I'm not even gonna reply to this guy. I don't care. Okay, it took me an hour to no. But if you on the call you say, look, this is 4,000 for this and this and this. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, I was thinking a lot lower. And you should say, what were you thinking? Tell me your number. They'll tell you your number. 1,500. Okay. And then you can say, okay, negotiate. Like, why not? Like, everything in life is a negotiation, right? You could say, okay, could we do that 1,500, like 2,000, and maybe I can restructure the project a little bit, and then make it work for you. How does that sound? You know, like you have to have some like I don't claim to have great marketing skills or sales actually, but you have to have a little bit of sales skills in order to make things happen. And if you're just gonna talk about the money on email, is way more likely that they're not gonna respond. You're not gonna get the job. But if you negotiate on the call and any objections they might have, like you can solve, you can say, okay, I was thinking of using 2 models for that, but if I use 1 model that's maybe not agency signed, we can do it for 2,000, and that can work. How does it sound? And maybe I was gonna do like 3 videos for you. I'll do 1 video, and we have a deal.
Yeah.
And he could say yeah, or he could say no.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel awkward or uncomfortable or guilty when you ask for money?
Of course, guilty, not as much. I think I deserve the money. I think we should all feel like we deserve the money. If you don't...
Have you ever felt guilty before, like when, not because you ask for too much, just because this is how we are trained sometimes?
The only time that I don't feel extremely well asking for a lot of money is when I photograph just people for their portraits or something. I don't know. It just feels like because they're they're gonna use it for their LinkedIn or whatever. I don't know.
You have an ethical issue there.
Yeah, ethical. I mean, I know they're not gonna make necessarily that much money from it, even if they use it for LinkedIn and they get the job. I mean, I probably should still feel okay with that. But with brands, because I know they're gonna sell a shit ton of stuff if I help them. It's more direct, it's commercial. But if I just photograph someone for their, LinkedIn or whatever, even, a lot less money than I would ask for a brand, I kind of feel more restricted, but I don't do that much, so it's okay. But with brands, no, I don't feel ever, I don't ever feel awkward asking. Not awkward you can feel a little bit, but not that I don't deserve it, no. If you feel like you don't deserve the amount you're asking, then you should be asking something a little bit less probably. If you feel like 4,000 is a lot and I don't deserve it, maybe you don't, and maybe you deserve 3. But we should not let these barriers from progressing and moving forward and upwards, right? Because if you're doing a great job, you probably deserve to get paid really well. So yeah.
Any last ones before we wrap this up? It was a bit longer than normal. No? No, it's okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's good. It was good.
I have one question, but I don't know. It's a stupid question. It's a thing in my own head.
It's fine. No, stupid questions exist. Don't
So
worry
it's just
about
about mood. So I do put mood boards together, but I always get a little bit. Do you put your own photos into mood boards, or do you use obviously what you pull from Pinterest? If you're using somebody else's work, you obviously need to reference it. I'm assuming, but the mood board is a collection of different types of images.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, as you said, I do both. I do use my photos just so I can prove to them, look, I've done this before,
Yeah.
But I do use photos from other people because I haven't shot everything that is out there.
Yeah.
So or that I want to create. So yeah, I use both. You can even use small sketches or stuff like that, or phone photos of locations or stuff like that. Yeah, but I do a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's best if you have some of your own photos as well in the mood board because it's living proof that look, I can not replicate, but kind of create something similar for you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, last one.
Where do you find those inspiration pictures from?
Okay, so Instagram. Oh my God. Don't look at that.
That's dangerous, George. That's brave.
Okay, ideas, right? I have a folder named ideas. If you see your photo in here, great, you did well.
So mine.
No, yours was in the support folder, wasn't
I
it?
was support.
Yeah, always support your friends. You can have a folder, save your friends' reels and stuff.
That's a good idea because
Tassos, thought of
You
this
have,
one.
I think it's Dennis' idea.
Oh well, it's one of us, yeah. So
The algorithm helps out.
save our stuff, okay, guys? Thank you. But yeah, I have this ideas folder that I save stuff since forever, and yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna show you everything, But like, yeah, that's the idea. And like, you can also do, as you said, Pinterest. I used to go on this website, fashioneditorials.com. You can find cool fashion editorials here. You know, if you like this one, open it, and boom. Okay, consent. You know. And then from here, you can find like the creatives as well. You can go on their websites and their Instagrams, and you know, you just have to do a little bit of research. Hopefully, these 3 followers is you guys, right? I'm keeping an eye on you. So yeah, I think these are more than enough. Like Instagram, Pinterest, and fashion editorials. If you're doing fashion, if you're not doing fashion, sorry. I don't know. I don't have a third one for you. But yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of other platforms. Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Are we?
Thank you.
Okay.
It was really, really interesting. Yeah, thank you very much, George.
Yeah, we'll hang out, say something.
Yeah, we.
for a little bit.
Yeah. The studio stays open until 9:30. Feel free to stay for another drink if you want. If you have any questions to ask us.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, say hi to the vlog here as well.